Lenny!
Vinny, I
Lenny,
miss
it
you.
has been so long that we have actually seen each other in the flesh.
I know. I miss you, Vinny.
I miss you, Lenny. But
Yeah.
Lenny, we are so grateful that we have things like Zoom where we can actually talk to each other, see each other,
We're
and
zooming.
record our podcast.
Exactly. We are not completely disbanded. We are the opposite.
Yes,
We are putting a lovely podcast together.
yes, yes. Tell me, how have you been?
I've been okay. The crown, as they say, is getting me down a bit.
Oh,
But
yeah, I know, I
uh,
know, I know. How's quarantine been for you? Are you getting lots done? Are you working? What are you doing?
I'm working. I'm very grateful for that. I am trying to keep busy. I am so far so good. So I am grateful, but
Good.
also very quarantined and very cabin fevery. But
Yeah. Yeah,
how
you
about
and the
you?
rest of the country.
Yeah. You doing
Well,
okay?
I have a job where actually have to go to work, so I'm actually grateful for that because I don't think I would do well sitting home alone.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, I trust you've been well. You haven't been sick.
nope, not yet.
Good. Me neither.
Yeah.
So we just thought that before we go on to any more commandments in our episodes, that we had to do a coronavirus episode because what else is anybody talking about right now, right?
No, this is all we're thinking about.
Right. So even though we usually record this sitting right next to each other, talking into my laptop. We are actually doing this in a responsible way, socially distant on Zoom. So I don't want anybody getting scared thinking that we're right next to each other. We're not. We're miles and miles away.
And a lot of work went into creating the Zoom
Oh
everything
my gosh.
that
Yes.
goes into it. So
Yes.
thank you, Vinny.
Sure. I did the best I could. All right. So shall we get started?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. So Second Stage Theater is a theater company here in Manhattan. I'm just going to this they posted this in March, shortly before everything started to get shut down, and I just actually thought it was kind of very dark. There was a lot of dark humor to this, so I'll just read it. Tonight's performance of "We're Gonna Die" will go on as scheduled. In keeping with Governor Cuomo's stipulation, this gathering falls below the half capacity. Blah blah blah. We're doing lots of cleaning. If you want your money back, blah blah blah. I just thought I just thought, like, if anything, everybody was starting to get crazy and nervous, and for them to say we are still going on with our performance of "We're Gonna Die" was kind of amazing. So you can't make this stuff up. So poor Second Stage Theater,
I
trying to keep afloat with their very topical named.
know.
All right, let's move on. Oh yeah. So this person posted again. This was before everything shut down. I'm so tired of hearing about this coronavirus. If you're sick, stay home. If you got fever, stay home. Wash your hands. Oh, I'm so sorry you're sick of hearing about the coronavirus. One of the biggest things that ever hit us in this generation. I'm so sorry.
Right.
On the other hand, she is giving good advice.
Right.
I don't know if it's going to do anything, but it's kind of, I don't know.
Well,
I,
I think it's funny to see this post in hindsight, I guess is
yeah,
well, because this was back when, a month or way back when, this was kind of just a weird thing people were talking about, and it was in the news, but it wasn't really harming a whole lot of people yet.
right.
But now it's like, oh my goodness,
Yeah,
it's
I don't think you would see anybody post like this
oh no, oh
now,
no.
right? But I think one should think before one posts.
Right.
Bef-
That is the lesson of this.
right, because things did get worse. And hopefully some people did take her advice, because she was annoyed about hearing about it. So
Yeah.
all right, let's keep going. Oh, so this was very interesting. There was a big, oh, there is a big conspiracy that that it's not really the virus that's harming people. It's 5G. So this person says, "Do you know the coronavirus is not a virus? It's 5G that's actually killing people, and not a virus. They're trying to get you scared of a fake virus when it's the 5G towers being built around the world. China was the first ever to have over 100,000 5G towers. Blah blah blah. they're talking about injecting you with microchips and all this stuff. So I would just say, please don't forward this stuff on because it just makes you look dumb.
So please forgive me in my ignorance here. What is 5G in this
Uh,
context?
5G, it's better than 4G, which is better than 3G.
You mean, wait a minute, you mean like with the phones or with
Yeah,
the?
yeah, like cell phone, like data.
Oh, you okay? What? Wait, what? Oh, okay, all
So,
right.
okay, Boomer, you got straight on 5G now?
But why would 5G and why would a cell phone have anything to do with a virus?
It wouldn't, because some people love conspiracies and they love
Oh,
spreading them and
okay.
making people crazy.
I mean, I guess some cell phones. There was that study that made it that like cell phones cause brain cancer, but that doesn't have anything to do. That's cancer, not a virus.
Well, that you would have to research, but this,
Yeah.
I don't see why 5G has anything to do with a virus. I don't.
Oh my god.
But just so our listeners know, Lenny is not a boomer. He's actually a millennial. He just has the
Well,
heart of a boomer.
depending on the day, but
Right.
yes.
Right. Yeah. Sorry if I insulted you.
No, it's
Okay.
okay.
Let's move on. So this is actually in the same vein as that last one, but this actually sounds credible. I'll just read some of it. Important announcement: coronavirus. So when someone is professing how important their post is, it's probably not important. Um, Last evening, dining out with friends, one of their uncles, who's graduated with a master's degree and who worked in Shenzhen Hospital in China, sent him the following notes on coronavirus for guidance. And there's a whole bunch of guidance about drinking lots of water, about how you know when you have coronavirus versus a cold, how long it lasts, about how drinking warm water is effective for all viruses, and try not to drink liquid with ice. What? I mean, so first of all, I would love to have been at this dinner with somebody's uncle and see, like, is the person taking down notes on a napkin and getting it down so they could put it on Facebook? This,
A master's degree.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, right. So this spread like wildfire, and soon it was on a website which I encourage all of you to check out called Snopes.com, which debunks just about every urban legend, internet, falsehood that there is. And this nobody knows where this came from. They don't know anything about it. And this is not based on science. That nobody did a controlled study about drinking warm water and if that helps you. I mean, some of this stuff is maybe true, but again, it's just somebody wrote this up out of who knows where.
Yeah. But this is the kind of thing that I would see initially and think, oh my goodness, like this would scare me and I would read this. And then only after, because we're also panicked about this, only after reading it would I think, wait a minute, what is the source? What's going on here?
Yeah,
So,
I read it and it actually sounded very interesting, and but I looked on Snopes and I saw it wasn't true, but very intelligent people started forwarding this around.
right.
So I would just caution everybody when you forward to know your source. I mean, forwarding something from the CDC about how to avoid things, that's a good place to forward if
Right,
you want to
exactly.
spread information. But somebody's uncle at some dinner who has some master's degree who happened to work in some hospital, like, I don't understand. This dude did like experiments while he was working in, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So just be careful with what you forward. Okay, we'll go on.
Yes.
Okay, this was interesting. I cannot believe people are posting about a primary election, which is now over, while literally our entire world has been turned upside down and tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people are about to die. I just do not flipping get it. Oy,
Uh,
so stressful, right?
well, yeah, and I
Oh
feel
yeah.
bad for the person who is saying this, but I also, ah, this doesn't really, this doesn't help me a whole lot to read this.
I kind of want to be like, so these people are posting about a primary election. How does that hurt you?
Right.
How does that hurt anything? Like, they're posting about a primary election. Like, leave them alone. Like, let them, let them post about something other than coronavirus.
Right. To take their minds, to take all of our minds off of it.
Yeah, who cares?
A little bit less depressing, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like they're not. Who know? You don't know anything about whether they're social distancing or not. So I just feel like this is a post that doesn't help anyone. It just makes people scared. It doesn't give anybody advice about how to stay well or how to feel good in this very difficult time. It's just getting on people for talking about something other than coronavirus. So
Yeah.
yeah, very, very judgmental, very self-righteous.
Yeah, and I think that a primary election could help us create a health system that combats the virus more effectively. So
Totally.
it all comes around.
Totally. So this person should just calm down and meditate.
Yeah.
Why don't you read, Lenny?
Okay, so people in general are selfish and not always the brightest, if social media has shown us anything in the past few years. So closing things down has to come from a higher authority. If left to make their own decisions, some people would go to the gym with symptoms or travel on a plane while waiting to find out if they had a positive test for other dumb stuff like not getting vaccines to things we actually have vaccines for.
So my question is, am I a people in general?
Am I a people in general? Like, I mean,
Are we selfish and not always the brightest? Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, we are.
I guess so, but to hear that, to have someone say that to me, to my face is...
Yeah, so I guess I'm wondering, one of our commandments is know thy audience. So is this person posting this because all of his or her friends are not selfish and are always the brightest? So her friends are not the audience? Is this person talking behind all the selfish and dumb people behind their backs? So I guess I'm wondering, like, what is the purpose of this? I guess she's trying to say, he or she is trying to say, government should shut things down. But again, I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do with this. And I'm also not sure if I'm a people in general.
Well, I think that's the assumption here, is that we, like, the people that we're reading that are so lucky to be reading this post are not people in general. And
Oh.
Part of the sort of an elite club of...
Well, then I'm very lucky.
Right. I mean, but what if what if someone hacked in or something? Like, you never know. Like,
yeah. All the people in general, all the people that is not this poster's friends.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. They'll be very offended.
I know.
Yeah. But yeah, again, I'm not quite sure what the point is. I guess the person's trying to say in a roundabout way, shut things down. I guess I would appreciate a little bit more of, like, pressure your local officials, if that's what...
Right. Like, actually doing, like, taking an action that actually would lead to a higher authority closing.
Right. Which actually brings us to our next slide. Okay, so this was done right around St. Patrick's Day, when when policymakers were saying, people don't go to crowded places, and all the young people who wanted to party didn't listen, and crowded into bars. So someone wrote, to all the young people who are at bars and restaurants right now, go the F home. Ask yourself, is your night of fun worth another person's life? If you, seemingly healthy, transferred this to an older person and they died, would you ever forgive yourself? So yeah, I find this a really interesting post. I think this has a good point. But again, who is the audience? Are the people reading this your friends? Are they the parents or grandparents of young people who are going out, who can convince them? I don't know. I guess I would want to ask myself before posting this, is this going to make a difference? And is there going to be collateral damage to this? Is it going to make an older person afraid, and maybe for good reason?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's again, there were people in Florida on the beaches, very crowded during spring break, who were like, I know they say I'm not supposed to do this, but if I get it, I'll be fine. I don't care. So maybe again, the message here should be pressure your elected officials to shut things down because young people aren't going to listen. I'm sorry to say this to you, Lenny. They say a person's brain is not fully developed until they're 25.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Maybe obviously that is what it takes because people didn't listen. So I'm just curious about what do you think, Lenny? Do you think this is a good, productive post, or do you think it's unnecessary?
I think for me reading this, it's a little bit unnecessary. It put kind of a level of fear that was already there in my brain and kind of just lit it with another match and sent it, but that's a little bit.
So that could be, collateral damage of
Right.
a post like this. Like if you get more anxious, but 3 people read this and end up staying home and people don't end up getting sick and maybe lives are even saved, your collateral damage of anxiety is probably worth it.
Well, and I think something that's missing from this post is something that wasn't necessarily common knowledge at this time, which was the whole issue of asymptomatic. So people who you can get it and not know and transfer it to someone who could get it and get very sick. So that's another thing, is that I think that's part of what this post is trying to convey, is that even if you do get it and you're fine, or you don't feel it, or it's very mild, you could transfer it to someone else, and that could kill them.
Right.
So,
right, because the average person spreads it to between 2 or 3 people.
Right.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I'm
Say what you mean.
yeah, it's an interesting post. How much social media has an influence on other people and how they behave, and I would be interested in studies on that. I would guess posts like this probably don't make that much of a difference in people's behavior. That's my guess. I would guess this person's friends are probably already responsibly socially distancing. So
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would
Right.
think so from the language of.
Right. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
So this is a post. Listen up. Stop telling people how to feel or what to do during this time. This is strange and scary for everyone, and we are all dealing with shit. Let people have their effing feelings and don't tell them how to feel or try to shame them because, in your point of view, they are better off than others. Most of y'all aren't therapists or counselors, and those of you who are still have no business giving unsolicited advice. So he goes on. This is a fascinating post because, first of all, he's telling people to stop telling people how to feel or what to do. But that means he's telling people what to do. So it's a very ironic kind of post, very interesting. He's getting very, very self-righteous about people telling people, and then he's doing it himself about that.
Yep.
So I could go on and make a post about people telling people to stop telling people who are telling people what to do.
Right.
But I won't do that.
Right.
But I do understand the point here, and that there is a lot of, as we saw in the last couple posts, that people have certain standards of behavior for other people, and when they don't live up to them, people get upset.
Right.
You have anything else to say about this?
No, the unfollowing makes me kind of sad. But
at the end. At this point, I'm enjoying my unfollow button very much. If all you do is bitch at people, I'm not thinking twice. That makes you sad?
I think that's very.
My response is like, why don't you just do it? Just unfollow people. Yeah. They're obviously really upsetting you. Just do it. Why are you making a post making everybody else upset? Just unfollow. If they're, you don't have to follow everybody in the world. It's not really that. If you found out that somebody unfollowed you, Lenny, that would make you sad?
I think it's just more the possibility of that happening that makes me sad.
And what if they did?
Then I would feel inferior, but that's okay.
Oh,
that's okay.
Well, no one will ever unfollow you because you follow all the commandments.
That's true.
Yes.
Thanks to your help, Vinny.
Yeah. No, you were
other in check. I mean, remember everyone that we also are living, breathing beings, and we post on social media, and we help each other, and so then we are creating a community of people who will all help each other obey these commandments, so that we can all be happier.
Ah, okay. All right. I just thought this was cute. Um, there's a little girl with the funniest look on her face, looking kind of like, "What are you doing?" And it says that look when your coworker keep coughing. Don't you have paid time off? I just thought that was cute. That made me happy. Okay. Oh, we're in the good post right now. So this is somebody who wrote, "Man, we're never going to survive the zombie apocalypse. Jeff just went to the store and only came back with a few packages of toilet paper. Quote, we gotta let other people stock up too, end quote. Hashtag we are screwed. Hashtag empathy is for suckers. And hashtag drip dry." I just thought that was brilliant. I just love that. Just it's, making making it a funny situation out of,
Yeah.
tragedy. So I
Yeah.
thought that was great. Perfect. Okay, let's see. Oh, and this is my favorite post. Um,
Oh,
this was from a blog and it got sent around a little bit. But I just think that this is something that all of us, and especially when we're on social media, that we should think about the things we can control and the things we can't. All
yes,
we can control really are our own actions,
that's true.
right?
Yeah.
We can follow the rules as best we can. We can try to make being in quarantine as productive as possible. But the things that we can't control are the things outside of ourselves, um, like how other people behave, how other people post, but we can talk about them on this podcast. Um, the availability of stuff at the stores. I mean, we're not saying that this isn't a very difficult time, but I think it makes getting through it easier when we can differentiate the things that we can control and what we can't, and to accept the things we can't control. I
Yeah.
think that makes it easier to get through this time.
I mean, I guess if either of us or anyone listening did work for one of the paper companies, then maybe they would have some influence on the amount of toilet paper at the store. But I think other than that, that is something that is really out of our control.
Well, I mean, we've both seen a lot of people getting upset about the way people behave in public, like whether they're wearing a mask or not, or whether they're social distancing or not. We can't control that. I mean, we could tell people you should really be standing further apart. You should really be wearing a face covering. But people don't usually do that. What they usually do is they come home and they get on Facebook or whatever and go off about it. But that's not helping anybody. It's just making you upset. It's making your readers upset. So um, yeah,
I
that's
like this post very much.
say again.
I like this post very much.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we should make. I'm wondering if one of our future commandments should be no venting on social media.
Oh,
We'll have to consider that. That wasn't one I had thought
yes.
about before, but I do think that is. I think venting is not a productive thing, and sometimes those vents can be turned into productive posts. But I just think being angry
At a
is
whole lot of people at once.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's the same with politics too, like we discussed. Like there's a lot to be angry about, but anger on its own doesn't do much without action. So, all right. Do we have any more?
I don't
Oh
know.
yes. Oh, I love this one.
Ooh,
Do you want to read this? Read this like a poem, Lenny. This is a very beautiful poem.
I'm getting ready.
Okay.
Gratitude list for today. Abundant, clean running water. 1,000 hallelujahs for that. A power grid that miraculously works and allows us to utilize technology in creative ways. The springtime and milder temperatures allow us to be outside. The fact that this health crisis will not peak in the middle of winter when illnesses are compounded by other illnesses, even in the best of times. People who are reaching out to one another with acts of kindness.
That's beautiful, Lenny.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have one of our commandments, if you have been with us so far, has been, thou shalt not thou shalt be grateful, but not on social media. So this gets a pass for that, because this is the kind of gratitude that really every single one of us, at least in the United States and much of Europe, can be grateful for, because it applies to all of us. We all have clean water, which is an amazing thing. We have power. When this happened, the power grid, the communication, it's really amazing. So I thought this post gets an A+ from me.
I like this too. This is the kind of post that I look at and it makes me remind me of what I can and should be grateful for.
Yes.
For that I am grateful.
Right. This isn't somebody saying, I'm grateful to be on a beach in Cancun with the love of my life and I want to kill him. No, this is beautiful. So,
yeah.
Well, I don't really want to kill them, but I just want them to stop posting that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's see. So, yeah, this is the end of our 7th episode. Can you believe it's 7 episodes?
I really can't believe it.
Yeah, 7 episodes. So we look forward to coming back to you all with the next episode. We'll get back to the commandments. We'd love to hear from you if you have any thoughts about if you have any posts that you would like us to rate or comment on, or any possible future commandments. We'd love to hear about that. And we really hope that everybody stays happy and healthy, and we look forward to seeing you all again sometime in the near future, we hope.
Yep. We miss you all.
Yeah.
Well, we are happy to be with you all.
Yes. And it was nice to be with you, Lenny, in this time, and let's do it again soon, okay?
We will. We definitely will.
All right. Bye, everybody.